My name is Arin Lindauer, and you're listening to A Life Without Struggle. I'm a wife, a mother of 2 wonderful children, a 2-time best-selling author, and a highly driven and successful entrepreneur. In my 17-plus year career as a mindset and health expert, I know what holds women back from a life you only dream about. Whether you're a CEO, a businesswoman, or executive, I started this podcast because I have been where you are, and I know you want and deserve more out of your life. I believe women are limitless. We just get lost along the way. The process to get you there is the topic and purpose of this podcast. When you understand what you want, you can truly step into a life without struggle. Welcome, and I'm so thankful you're here. All right, welcome back to another episode. Today's topic we're going to dig into is on perfectionism. And when do we use this? When do we get rid of this? And specifically, we'll dig into this as far as, why do we feel we have to be perfect? Why do we feel like the weight loss journey has to be perfect? And this is really for the women that I speak into, that I coach, because reasonably speaking, our skill and our trait around perfection has helped us get where we're at today. So reasonably speaking, it has helped us and it has served us. But what happens when it doesn't serve us? And so we're going to dig into this topic a little bit deeper, and especially around a weight loss journey. And I really love this quote from Vince Lombardi, and it says, "Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence." And so that's more of the message and kind of foreshadowing where we're going to go today with this topic. But I thought it was something that we should speak into today, because interestingly enough, I had a couple conversations where I had a woman say, and multiple women say, literally just last week, if I can't do it perfect, I don't want to do it at all. And so I started really digging into this topic going, gosh, why would someone say this? Because these are real things that we say to ourselves. And if you ever take a second to objectively evaluate, see, I'm a big observer, and this has definitely been a skill set that I've learned to adopt here over these last few years. But I truly observe patterns, traits, thoughts, especially when it comes to women and success, not only in their body, but then in their life. Have you ever just seen that person that just is a complete stress ball? Like, they come in the room and they are the Tasmanian devil. Like, everything's going down fast and hard. And, I used to joke because our daughter, when she was, more like a toddler, she could just wreck a room in like 3 seconds. I mean, I would have the whole place tidy, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom. Well, this is what goes on in women's minds. This same act of that Tasmanian devil type of thought process of, if I can't do this perfectly, I'm not going to do it at all. Like, listen, I'm going to share a quick story. So, super sad story to start this podcast out with, but our neighbor loves her dogs, absolutely loves her dogs. And she ended up losing a dog the other night, just super terrible story. And I'm not sure exactly how she lost her. I think it was bloat or something. Just you can't, I guess, I don't know. Anyways, super sad. And she texted me and said, "Hey, I saw that you're home, and I just wanted to let you know that she had lost her." And she said, I was going to bring over, she had a gift for Leo that she wanted to give him. And I said, "Hey, don't worry." So anyways, the kids were like, "Who are you talking to?" And I was like, well, I just shared with them that our neighbor lost her dog. And so they were like, "Hey, let's make her cookies." And I was like, all right, cool. Let's make her cookies. Well, I am terrible at cookies. I literally can make a 4-course amazing meal. I can make every cake under the sun. I can cook very, very well. And I've done it a lot of times. but cookies are not my jam. Probably for a multitude of reasons, but I absolutely suck at making cookies. But the kids wanted to make cookies, and I was like, you know what, that's going to cheer her up. Let's just do that. So we made them, and they were absolutely terrible, but they made her day. I literally put them in her mailbox, texted her, and I said, hey, they're still warm. Just the kids thought this would be something that would cheer you up. FYI, I suck at making cookies. And it just made her day. Absolutely made her day. But listen, had I sat here and said, well, I can't make a perfect cookie, so I'm not going to do it at all, I wouldn't have lifted her spirits. I wouldn't have said, and so silly story, right? Like silly, tragic, terrible story. But like, can't let this fear of I can't do it perfectly paralyze you, because you're never going to start. And guess what? I guarantee there are tricks to making cookies that I don't even realize. Like if I would actually take the time to understand and maybe read the instructions and not just like throw stuff together, because I'm sure it has to do with my temperature of butter, my temperature of my eggs, or something, because they always come out really flat and just terrible. So now I'm going to have everybody telling me how to make cookies now. And cookies are not my thing, obviously, doing what I do. So, but I want to share that story because we can't let this keep us from doing something. Now that everybody's thinking about cookies, you're all thinking about carrots and lettuce. So what happens with this perfectionism, and do we need it? So with Vince Lombardi's quote, he's saying, hey, it's totally not obtainable, but in the pursuit of perfection, we find excellence. And so that's where we want to shift our focus. And so I want to speak into, okay, why the heck is this perfectionism even a thing? And why do we feel that we need to do things perfectly? And so truly there's this almost this fear, right? The fear of failure. So many women have told me that they are so scared to fail that they don't even get started. And they know that there's the potential that they're not going to meet their own or someone else's expectations. And this fear and belief that they can't do this perfectly means they're going to be judged or there's going to be negative consequences. I know so many times women don't invest in themselves in my coaching program because they are so scared to fail. And not only are they going to quote unquote, and I'm quoting this, fail, but they're going to be out a fair amount of money. They're going to have to report to me, and they don't want to fail to me. They don't want to fail to their husband or partner, right? And so get this fear of failure. And the thing that I always speak into when it comes to failure, we only fail if we don't learn, right? So if we don't learn, then we can't see forward progress. Keep repeating those same darn mistakes. And sometimes you're hard-headed, okay? I'm there. And you have to learn a few different things before that fear is gone. And that's okay. It's a good thing. Okay, maybe you had to purchase a few different coaching programs. Maybe you had to go down a weight loss journey, a couple different avenues, because you learned something different each time. There's so many different programs. And here's the thing, even we have evolved how we coach clients over the 15, 20 years that we have collectively, or not collectively, but each of us, my husband and I, have been coaching. And so it's one of those things where we used to 100% believe in a certain supplement, and everybody had to get started on this supplement. They had to go through a cleanse phase. And in that time and space, we felt that was the best way to do it. And we got really dramatic, really great results. Today, we actually don't even preach supplements except for just a very few pieces. Supplements in our eyes now is truly to just supplement the deficiencies, right? So if you're not getting enough protein in your body, hey, a protein powder can be very helpful. Or if you are not getting all your vitamins and minerals, the micronutrients, which for most of us, we're not getting it. We just don't eat the plethora of foods that you would need to eat to get that. So a good multivitamin or omegas or probiotics, those are kind of the like standards. And then we just have a few others. I use magnesium very heavily, but here's the deal. I have found that a liquid magnesium is actually the best thing for me personally. So what I wanted to speak into is we have to find the answers and what works now, okay? So many times we get down these different paths and we think, okay, this is the only way to do it. And so you have to lean into this and say, okay, what can I learn? And if we're constantly paralyzed because of this fear of failure, it's a simple reframe. You got to trust yourself and back yourself in everything that you do. That is a huge thing. And sometimes I've even questioned that with myself as like, hey girl, like maybe you need to slow down just a touch, lean into this stuff a little bit deeper before going all in. I've definitely made my mistakes in hiring different coaches over the years. But again, I always learn something. Sometimes it's a little more painful than others because of how many dollars were involved. But again, I digress. So the other thing that I see with this perfectionism is, we see on a daily basis people's highlight reels. We have almost this cultural norm that everything is perfect. I mean, think about filters now. And so this is wild. You guys are going to laugh, and I'm just going to go ahead and share this anyways. So I had posted a picture of myself, obviously, in a lot of marketing that I do. I do a lot of selfies. It is what it is, right? And we all know that a picture with text does get seen by more people. So there's that. I literally had a lady Facebook message me that says, I have a great product to help those lines on your face. Now, I hope every woman listening to this is laughing because I had a very tactful response that was like, I'm owning my wrinkles, okay? And maybe there's some Botox in my future, but listen, I don't see pictures of people who have put a ton of weight on and say, yo, what happened? I got a solution. Like, that just doesn't feel good. So we have this whole societal piece where we are constantly comparing ourselves and we're constantly looking at what looks like perfection of other people's lives. And I do feel that that does play in. And, it's always interesting when someone posts on social media about their weight loss journey. And very rarely do they post, hey, here's my weight loss journey. I ate well, I slept, I drank water, and I moved my body appropriately. And guess what? It happens, right? Everybody has an ulterior motive from what I have seen when they start posting about it. They've got, hey, join this thing, hey, join this, whatever. And it's just, you can just see right through it. Like, can we just post, hey, I did the hard work and it actually paid off? Like, that would be great. So the other thing that I see is some of the things that we have felt in our past is like, we've always done things perfectly. We always hit our goals. And then all of a sudden, get a couple instances where we don't hit our goals, right? Or we always got this like validation. Hey, great job. You get all that encouragement. And I can definitely appreciate this one because reasonably speaking, I felt so many times in my life that everything just went well. Like I set a goal, we met or exceeded the goal, we set a new goal, hit that. And then it's kind of wild when life kind of kicks you down. And I'm sure several of you can appreciate this, is when life kicks you down and then it hits you again, right? Because when it rains, it pours. And so it's one of these things where we start doubting ourselves. We start questioning, can I really do these things? And I can appreciate that just certainly right now. Tony and I feel like we just keep getting hit and it's just like, holy moly, like, can it just stop? But here's what I'm going to tell you. The other part of that saying, so when it rains, it pours, yes. But then after the worst, what always happens? So after our darkest days, the dawn always rises. So there's always that silver lining. Just the second that I see a woman struggling with her weight loss, and if she will just go one more inch, one more good meal, one more good movement, steps, workout, all of a sudden that scale moves. It's when you constantly are seeking validation from the scale, right? And this one bothers me because we let the scale dictate how we feel. Scale should be objective. It is 100% data and feedback. Now, I can appreciate there's an emotional attachment when you see that number. And that's what I want to encourage. Like, hey, it's just feedback. It's helping us understand. And when we look at it day to day, it can get so batty. But I will tell you, daily weighing can serve someone within the right headspace because it gives us objective feedback. Hey, this is what happens when I eat this food. This was my hydration level. And then what I always do is once I have data daily, and then I can see data from a week to week to week, then we can start really comparing. Because so many times I've had a client just get so mad because the scale went up, but when in reality, it was like, hey, from week to week, we're technically down. And that's truly what matters. So, do you need perfectionism? The answer is no. Of course, we don't need to be perfect. But I understand when you're a driven woman, when you're little type A, right? Like you like things done a certain way. I mean, who here likes the towels folded a certain way, right? Like, yeah, we like that. We like to have order. When we have order, we have peace. I will never forget when Tony shared with me how upset he feels when the garage is not put together. And now here's the deal. Like, yes, it drives me batty too, but I can shut that door and like be done with it after pulling the car in. But what I didn't understand is it actually bothered him because I recall us getting into a conversation like, why are you always in the damn garage? Like, what's going on? And he was like, I just want to get it organized. And then I kind of looked at it after he does organize it and I'm like, yeah, no, this does feel better. But that's how we need to keep our thoughts. Think of when you've got all those tools lined up perfectly on that pegboard or whatever that thing's called. Or, you know, he built this like workbench and everything has a place. Oh my gosh, I will never forget. My dad had each of his tools outlined so he knew which one went where. I mean, so, hey, listen, whatever it works. But think about that in your mind when everything's in chaos and you're constantly going here, 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 here. I mean, that's the theater of your mind. You're in constant chaos. That Tasmanian devil is just running rampant. So when you can keep things in peace and in order, I guarantee things go just a little bit better. So we start to see things kind of fall in place, and that feels good for us. But I want you to give yourself this space that if everything isn't perfect, it doesn't mean to hell with it. It doesn't mean don't keep going. Okay, so you want to keep yourself in this space of, was today better? Did I move the needle? And here's the thing too, don't give yourself too much wiggle room, okay? Because this is another thing that I see is like, we have wiggle room in a weight loss process, but don't mess with that too far, especially when you're in weight loss. Just be in weight loss and get her done, okay? Because it literally doesn't take as long as you think it's going to take. It only takes longer when we have a little extra here, we do a little extra there. reasonably speaking, if we're creating enough of a deficit, we're going to see, like clockwork, a good pound every single week. When you're getting close to nitty gritty, it does tend to be more of a half pound. But think about it. You're not moving as much. What am I trying to say? Like, it doesn't take as much energy to move your body. Therefore, don't need as much fuel. So sometimes where, when you started a weight loss journey, you absolutely reduced your portions. You may have to consider reducing portions just a little bit more, especially if you're within that like 5 to 10 pounds. So just think about, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be better. And if we're getting closer to the end of that journey, that means that wiggle room isn't as deep. But I'll tell you what, you've probably learned so many things in this process. You've put so many different things into play. These are just tweaks. These are just absolute little tweaks that are going to make all the difference. So I don't want you to think this journey has to be perfect. Life doesn't have to be perfect. But what we need to do is we need to follow this journey, follow this path of seeing how far can you go. The perfectionism is a good quality until it paralyzes you, because what it's allowing you to do is to think better for yourself, desire more for yourself, and you're going after this excellence. So want to take care of you, want to take care of your house, want to take care of your finances, your relationships, and keep yourself in this good flow. But guess what? It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's okay to want things to be done right, to want things to be done well. Okay, so keep striving, but really focus on, hey, I want excellence in all areas of my life. I want my career to be rocking, or my business to be rocking. I want my body to be rocking because that just makes you feel good. It's how you present yourself. You want your relationships to be really tight and just really meaningful, and just a loving relationship with everyone that you encounter, right? Like, can you imagine if we just all loved ourselves and loved everyone else? Like, dang, this world would be freaking fixed in 2 seconds. So it's okay to want perfection, but I really, truly, and sincerely want you to focus on the excellence. Get after this every single day. And if that voice is coming in, I want you to talk to her. Don't listen to her. Always talk to yourself. Tell yourself what you want, what you desire, because you deserve it. Go get them.